Hey there, and welcome to D&D Daily. My name is Sage, and today I'm going to be doing a blind stat block reading of the animated breath that comes from Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping you are too. Let's get into it. A chromatic dragon's breath weapon is a manifestation of the energy that suffuses the dragon. With sufficient practice, dragons can learn to draw on magic from the elemental planes to shape their breath weapons into bipedal form, creating elemental creatures called animated breaths. Chromatic dragons often use these creatures as guardians for their hordes or send them out to gather treasure from the territory around their lairs. So right away, they're minions. We have a minion on our hands. That means early campaign it would be used as maybe like an introduction to the dragon, and later campaign it could be used as, minions away from the dragon or to support as the dragon fights. So we'll have to kind of think from both of those perspectives as we're looking at the stat block. An animated breath is a bipedal creature formed from the same energy as the breath weapon of the dragon that created it. A red dragon's creation strongly resembles a fire elemental, while a black dragon's is similar to a water elemental but viscous and foul looking. That's neat. A green dragon's animated poison breath looks like billowing clouds of green gas, while a white dragon's animated cold breath looks like a walking ice sculpture with frigid air whirling around it. A blue dragon's animated lightning breath is a constantly shifting form of crackling lightning, and it can suddenly vanish from one place to reappear in another, striking like a bolt from the blue. Cool, so depending on the dragon, we have different tactics. I'm excited for this one. This is cool. This is neat. It is a large elemental, typically neutral evil. Its armor class is 15 unless it's cold form, which has a 17 AC, so the cold one is a little bit tankier than the other ones. Hit points are at 95, speed is 30 foot, and 30 foot flying with hover. That's really nice. Plus 4 strength, plus 0 dex, plus 4 constitution, minus 2 intelligence, plus 0 wisdom, and minus 3 charisma. So they are idiot bruisers. They have good strength and good constitution, and nothing else really stands out. They just want to get toe-to-toe and fight. Damage resistances, they match their form, and they resist that element. Condition immunities: exhaustion, paralyzed, petrified, poisoned, restrained, and unconscious. That's quite a good list. Senses: dark vision to 60 feet, passive perception 10. Languages: understands Draconic but can't speak it. Again, total minion here. Challenge rating 6, proficiency bonus plus 3. Chromatic form: when created, the animated breath takes one of 5 forms, matching its creator's breath weapon: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison. This form determines the creature's AC, damage resistance, traits, and attacks. Fire aura: fire form only. At the start of each of the animated breath's turns, each creature within 5 feet of it takes 1d6 fire damage, and flammable objects in the aura that aren't being worn or carried ignite. A creature that touches the animated breath or hits it with a melee weapon attacks takes another d6 of fire damage. So my impression on that one is it's not meant to kill anything, but it's meant to loosen up everything. It'll do a little bit of damage to everyone. And I think that flammable objects in the area could be really interesting in certain areas with oil or with like drapes hanging down, that the fire could be more interesting depending on its environment. So keep that in mind when you're using one of these fire animated breaths. Okay, putrid aura. A creature that starts its turn within 5 feet of the animated breath must succeed on a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or be poisoned until the start of its next turn. A creature that touches the animated breath or hits it with a melee attack takes 1d6 acid damage. So it similarly loosens them up, but it's better because you get poisoned condition, which is horrible for martials, especially rogues, because it makes getting their sneak attack off super difficult. That's fantastic. That's phenomenal. Alright, jumping into their actions, multi-attack. The animated breath makes 2 slam attacks, and a slam attack is a melee weapon, plus 7 to hit, does 2d8 plus 4 bludgeoning damage, plus 2d10 damage of its element. Okay, solid damage, and it gets 2 attacks. That's just solid all around. Bonus actions: the lightning burst, the lightning form only. The animated breath magically teleports to an unoccupied space it can see within 30 feet of it. Each creature within 5 feet of the animated breath after it teleports takes 1d6 lightning damage. Okay, I feel like we have the whole picture now. The Lightning Elemental is best at getting to the backline and punching the squishies using its really excellent slam. Okay? The Putrid Aura is best to be right in the front of all of the marshals to try and tank those marshals around it and keep them close to it. The Fire Aura one's meant to loosen up all of the enemy's health to make them more squishy for bigger attacks. And finally, the Cold Form is just the tankiest. The one that stands out above the rest to me is Putrid Aura. Lightning Burst is also excellent, and I feel like Fire Aura is next, and then at the end you have the tankier Cold Form, which kind of fits because the Cold Form is the weakest of the dragons, so I would assume the weakest of the animated breaths. I could be wrong. If you disagree, let me know, and let me know why down in the comments below. As far as using an animated breath in my campaign, absolutely great minions, so they could be an introduction to the dragon, but they also make excellent support while in combat with the dragon, especially Putrid and the Fire forms. The Lightning Burst kind of acts as an assassin, and it would probably be the best one-on-one combatant, like in earlier levels, to have just a lightning form. I think that would be the scariest of those encounters. Alright, that has been my take on the animated breaths. Hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Again, if you have any ideas or thoughts, we want to hear them, go ahead and put them in the comments below, and I'm looking forward to them. On the next episode of Blind Stat Blocks Reading with Sage, we're going to be taking a look at the aspect of Bahamut. Whew, that sounds intense. I'm looking forward to it. Hope you are too. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one. Later!